Hello, sim racing fans. As you know, sim racing has exploded over the past couple of years, due in part to the global pandemic and corresponding cancellation or delay of our favorite motorsports. Boo! As a result, fans and professional drivers alike have turned towards sim racing to get their racing fix. With so many simulators on the market now, it can be daunting for new sim racers to decide upon which one to get nestled into. Two prominent sims that are often brought up on this topic, iRacing and Assetto Corsa Competizione, which one is better? But before I go any further, I want to state the purpose of this video isn't to bash one sim whilst praising another. The goal is to inform those that may not know the differences between the two, so this will be a subjective review based on my personal experience in sim racing and high performance automotive. The iRacing Assetto Corsa Competizione debate is akin to Chevy versus Dodge. The reality is that there isn't one overall winner with Chevy or Dodge. Both competitors do a good job at different things for different people, and the same is true for sim racing. On the surface, iRacing would appear to be the sim of choice, if not for the sole reason that it's been around the longest, since 2004, and as such it's become a household name of sorts in sim racing. For the most part, iRacing has been unchallenged, and in some aspects this statement still holds true. iRacing does a fantastic job with special events and competitions. There's no shortage of events at any given time for a broad range of racing disciplines, ranging from oval, dirt, rallycross, and road racing. Assetto Corsa Competizione is the relative new kid on the block, and as such it does receive some jabs from the iRacing loyalists. Change can be hard to accept, but it can't be ignored. ACC does some things better than iRacing, with the most significant one being a higher level of immersion. The visuals and soundtrack of ACC are incredible. Also, the track accuracy is very good, as it appears that Kunos has done their homework and not only laser scanned the tracks, but have included important details that are trademark features of circuits. More on that later. There are two clips in this video that I'm driving the Lamborghini Huracan Evo at Spa-Francorchamps in iRacing and ACC. I drove similarly just to test the physics of both sims, so ignore the mistakes as I was driving loose on purpose. One of the common complaints about ACC is that the built-in online competition is poor, and that you have to leave the sim in order to register with League Racing, whereas it's internal in iRacing. This is a valid complaint, and being able to stay within the sim is convenient for the user and makes business sense in terms of engagement. With that being said, it's not the end of the world. There are several entities such as the SimGrid that hold daily races and one-off events that do require external registration, but all the stats are tracked in sim, such as SA, safety rating. So how did the sims feel overall? I found iRacing to have a more grassroots feel that, dare I say, is a bit unpolished. The UI in iRacing feels dated, and navigating it does feel clunky. This is by no means a reason not to use iRacing, but it's something that devs should revisit sooner than later, as a bit of polish wouldn't be a bad thing. As stated earlier, iRacing came out in 2004, and the visuals definitely let you know it. And I may take some heat for what I'm going to say next, but here we go. I feel like I'm playing a game rather than a sim in iRacing. The racing is great, but the visuals could stand to be improved. However, this knock on the sim can be a positive for many, as the lower quality visuals require less than beefy hardware in relation to what's required to run ACC. This is more likely a key factor as to why it's so popular. As for the physics go, I find that the GT cars tend to feel somewhat disconnected, a comment that a fellow sim racer made in one of his videos that made me scratch my head when I heard it, but when I actually experienced it I understood what he meant. I can concur that I feel like the tire model is the issue, and I'm not a fan of it. The tires feel like 1 minute they are running on Velcro, and the next you're driving a slick on an ice rink. The competition in iRacing is very good. It's why the sim is so highly regarded in sim racing circles. But all the other pieces of the puzzle matter to me, not just the racing. I crave immersion, and to me, it's lacking in iRacing. Sound and visuals are very important for the whole picture. For me, ACC addresses my immersion issues that I have with iRacing. In contrast, it's a sim that ticks most of the boxes for sim racing in general. The visuals, lighting, and dynamic weather force you to adapt to the condition in both driving and car setup, just like in real life. The soundtrack of the cars is very good, but the ambient sounds such as debris hitting the chassis, sounds of the brake rotors and pads, and the sound of the chassis creaking as you corner pull you right into the sim as if you're driving the car. Yes, ACC is a good looking sim, but don't make the mistake of thinking it's all show and no go. The racing is fantastic, and when you're racing on a good server or event, you'll find yourself up against some of the most rapid racers in sim racing. The tire physics in ACC and the use of the Unreal Engine do a good job of replicating real-life racing conditions where skilled driving is rewarded, but if you make a mistake, in ACC you are severely punished. Unfortunately, this can be discouraging for new sim racers, a complaint I've often heard, and I can resonate with. Off-track adventures aren't fun, and you just can't trundle back onto the blacktop if you go off. Usually it results in terminal damage and or a long re-entry time and a potential penalty. As it should be, just like in real racing. Remember earlier when I was talking about track accuracy and how the tracks are scanned in ACC versus iRacing? The trademark of Spa is that they use a yellow and red pattern on their curbs and barriers. This is something that no matter what footage you're ever looking at, you can always tell it's Spa because they're the only circuit that does it. However, iRacing has changed those colors to red and white. ACC here is using the proper colors. The colors is a minor detail. However, when we're talking about immersion and sim racing, because we are sim racing here, it should be a simulation of the real world. And for some that may be a deal breaker, others not so much. For me, the details do matter, because this is a simulation. And since I'm not qualified to drive a real race car, this is the closest I'm ever going to get. I'm spending the money because I want to be as immersed as possible into the sim. In conclusion, it's no secret that ACC is my sim of choice. iRacing is also a great sim, but where I live is ACC. I love the sim, I love the quality, the immersion, and most importantly, the community of ACC is second to none. Out of all the different games and simulations I've played, ACC has one of the most helpful and accepting communities I've ever been a part of, and I'm proud to say that I'm a part of the ACC community. So if that's important to you, like it is to me, ACC is probably going to be a slam dunk if you haven't tried it out. But by all means, give both of them a try, make your own conclusions, and either way, you're going to enjoy sim racing. Happy racing, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next video. If you like this video, hit the like button and share with your friends. Also, there's a subscribe button. Hit the subscribe and the bell so you're notified when I put new content up. It encourages me to grow as a content creator. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I hope that I can continue to do this for you. Take care, everybody, and thanks for the support.